What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Sly, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. Now, as you guys know, when the closed beta dropped, I didn't spend a lot of time actually fighting online, and I ended up spending almost all my time testing, checking moves, comparing stats, and going through numbers, and of course, bringing you the finest cancer that gives you all three types of diabetes. So, today we're going to be doing a breakdown, so let's get right into the breakdown. Alright guys, today we're breaking down how stats work for clothes in Xenoverse 2. Now, I'd just like to say that these numbers I will present you are not 100% accurate, but will essentially be the correct values and equations that you'll need to calculate your values, as I'll be presenting a more in-depth breakdown of each individual race and their stats as well as their transformation bonuses later on when I have access to the open beta. Now, let's get into the first thing you need to know about the values. So the way that we're going to be doing these values is we're going to be taking them from the level 50s, as you know, as far as the beta shows, that's what we're able to get our stats from. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take the values from level 50 and just work off of those. Now, as you know, at level 50 you get 500 ki and stamina, which equals 5 ki bars and 5 stamina bars without any stats assigned. So I'm not able to actually work on stat growth from the actual game, as you know, I'm not able to give you the correct math, but I will be able to give you the boosts generally accurately. Well, not generally, essentially the accurate numbers for the boosts, or you know, a general vicinity of accuracy. So you know, it's a pretty good estimate. So what we're going to be doing here is, for this video, I'll be using values from Xenoverse 1 to show you the correct scaling for the values of Xenoverse 2, because the values seem to be more or less the same, and they work, well, they do work the same for the clothing, but for the stats themselves, they seem to be roughly the same, rounded to about 1 or 2%. 1.2% to 2%, somewhere in between that margin, but I would guesstimate 1.2%. So so what I'm saying essentially is, whereas you would get the 1% from Xenoverse 1, you know, per arrow, you get the 1.2% on Xenoverse 2 per arrow. But you know, I'm gonna go into a little more detail so you guys know exactly what the figures you're looking at are and what you need to know. So for this, we'll be using a level 1 and a level 50 Saiyan from Xenoverse 1 and compare their values with and without their clothing and with and without 100 Ki Blast Super. So please bear with me. Alright. For male Saiyans at level 1 with middle type body and 0 stat points, we'll have a stat scaling of Ki Blast Supers of 16.88%, which will grow to 71.96% from level 1 to level 50 without clothing. So now let's add clothing to our level 1 Saiyan, which will now make his values increase from 16.88% to 19.36%, having you know, all clothes give plus 5 Ki Blast Supers, of course. And now with the level 50, who now jumps from 71.96% to 82.58% with just their bare values. So now at level 50, we have, you know, 147 attribute points. So if we add the attribute points into the Ki Blast Super and compare the differences, with no stats and 100 Ki Blast Super, we have a value of 1.1.96%, and adding clothes on top of that gives us 197.33%. which means that our clothes will always give us a 25.37% scaling on our stats. Provided our clothes give, you know, plus 5 in all stats, with our stat boost on top of our base scaling, because in Xenoverse 2 each arrow on clothing counts as roughly 1.2%, but with every down value, our values would have been, with clothing having been minus 5 in all Ki Blast stats, our values would have been 149.12% instead of 197.33%, which means that the minus would be 48.21%. So in essence, each arrow going down would take away 1.9284% of our stat boost, while each arrow going up, adding points, would add on 1.0148%, which is why even if you wear clothes that would give you plus 5 in all stats and clothes that will take away plus 5 in the same stats, you would end up losing out on 0.9136% of the actual stat boost, and you would go down. The closing boost negative values are always higher by about 0.9136, as I said. So in short, the way clothes work is now that each plus arrow will give you 1.0148% of a stat boost, and the minus arrow, as I said again, will give you minus 1.9284% of the boost. So these values may be a little bit off, but they are roughly they're generally in the accurate area. So they're generally what you're looking for with these stat boosts. So to round these up, you would be getting 1% or 1.2% of a boost per arrow. So every single arrow that you have on your clothing would give you a 1.2% increase to your stats, while every arrow going down would be roughly a 2% or 2.23% down. So you would lose out on, again, 2.23% of your actual damage, which is why whenever you have, again, +5 in one stat and then -5 in one stat, you end up losing out instead of breaking even. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this more educational type of video. If there's any questions you'd like to ask, then please leave it in the comment section below. If you liked the video, then by all means leave a like and subscribe. And before I go, I would like you to please check out my bro, Mr. Toby's YouTube channel. He's just started making YouTube videos again, and you can find them by clicking on this beautiful Namekian face right here. He makes awesome content on YouTube and is a great Twitch streamer as well. So please, guys, give him lots of love, lots of support, and follow him on all his social medias and, annoy the shit out of him on PSN. He's a great guy, so, it just helps him out. So have a nice day, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is CodeSly, and I'm signing out. See you on the next time. Bye.